All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hajime no Ippo, Season 3, Episode 23.
And her son!
Yeah. We are in a good backstory bit with Kamogawa and Nekota.
Indeed.
And we are getting to see the after effects of World War II on the nation of Japan at the time, but also on the
World of Boxing.
The world of boxing for them, and what inspired them to become boxers in a lot of ways. There's some stuff being foreshadowed and set up with regards to Kamogawa having it be almost like a religion, something that he's obsessed over, and now having a proper villain to kind of channel his anger and frustrations towards. Might push him away ultimately from Yuki.
Yes, because we know that the story does not end happily. But we don't know how. Yeah.
Another big thing that our editor passed along to us, we apparently missed a couple things here. There were two characters with full first and last name drops that we got here that were very much characters that we'd seen before.
Nekota and Kamogawa.
Yeah. Dankichi, the one that was the trainer on Champion Road, that ended up being the one that Kamogawa sent Volg to train with in America, was revealed way back then, but now we see him here, and apparently even down to the fact that in the present, when they mentioned him, he had a glass jaw, which this is essentially where he got it.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And then the other character is, of course, Miguel Zale, someone that we might have had more opportunity to recognize if we were looking at the name a little bit closely, is that was the trainer of Hawk.
Right.
Brian Hawk. Which is rather that fitting. American that kind of has that exact same energy that Anderson had.
Blonde, tall, big, no manners, follows instinct like an animal.
Basically animalistic.
Yep.
And it's interesting that he's like, hey, not all of us are like that, but I did end up then...
Kind of puts up with them, and then, oh, hey, you're one of the few people that maybe puts up with that kind of person, so you end up getting them again later.
Yeah. Rather interesting.
Yeah.
But, let's see how this arc develops. More backstory. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. I don't know what to say. That was a gut-wrenching episode. And the fact that it ended on such a high note.
I know.
At the last possible second.
Yeah.
How?
So okay.
How?
We know that this backstory was going to be tragic, right? Like that was something we knew, right? It was set up, you know. You've got the picture and everything of this character that we've never seen before.
But I think we assumed there would be a wholesome aspect of it between Nekota and Kamogawa,
right?
So that it would be a thing of showing their brotherhood,
exactly,
and how that developed.
It's the happiness amidst the pain, right?
Exactly.
That there wouldn't just be the sadness, right? It'd be balanced out.
Yeah, they built a friendship amidst the tragedy and also just the struggle. Yeah.
And there is a balance to it.
Yes.
But my God, not just having the surprise of, oh, by the way, she's from Hiroshima.
So she's got radiation poisoning, and she will probably only live another 5 years at most.
At absolute most, and it might be 5 months. You know?
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but the whole bit with the sunflowers and I hope I get to see them.
The
next
effects
year.
of radiation poisoning due to the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs carried over multiple generations.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous that is. You can go and look it up on all the, online yourself and things like that. But to put things in perspective, children, multiple generations were born under the effects of some of the what the radiation poisoning did.
Yep.
And so that it's horrific. So for someone who's probably only 10 years or so, 10 years or so after the events this would still be very
2 years.
Crazy. Oh, is it 2 years?
Yeah, because it was the 2 years post-war.
Okay. So she's got a couple years at most.
Right.
Then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then on top of that, we have whatever's happening with Nekota, and they call it being punch drunk, but I'm sure that's just it's actually there's a medical term for it.
It's not a stroke necessarily, like I was thinking. The nerves are apparently the thing. And we're just
so
going to
nerve
assume
damage.
we're
Okay.
going to assume that Nekota knows what he's talking about because this is the field of boxing that we're not really aware of.
But he's not going. He didn't go to the hospital because then they would probably say, "Don't ever do anything like this again." Right.
Right.
You know, and he's wanting to basically brute force his way through it.
Yeah. The fact that he has headaches though through this. That was the thing that made me kind of go, wait a minute, maybe
I think that's
something
just the
it
brain
is in
damage.
the brain.
Like, because
all the punches that he's taken.
all the punches that he's taken. Because the issue with the hand, that originally I was thinking that might be something where like he's thrown too many punches and it's like permanently hurt his hand.
That's
probably a lot
likely.
Right. It's probably just that there's been nerve damage in the brain, and then as a result of that, he starts to lose control over his body and things like that, right? In addition to things like losing memory and whatnot. So
the memory
lovely.
one. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So in some ways, what's really sad and sweet about this is that we know that Nekota ends up going to the mountains and runs basically a training camp for boxers and stuff, but also just allows people to, get out and, spend some time away from things. But this guy ended up leaving basically his best friend and separated himself from everyone there, probably because there's the awkward inability that he would have to live without issue in just general society if he was still having these issues, a decade or so after.
Oh, sure.
This whole instance where it's just like,
yeah,
he would need to basically minimize his ability to damage himself through things like, I don't know, just as simple as like someone taking advantage of him,
right.
In the slightest way.
Like it's something where a lot of his quirkiness and sort of kookiness as a the old hermit in the hills kind of a archetype, we
now have a direct mechanical
for why that
for
happens.
Some of it.
It's not just because he's old. It's not just because he's in the hills. There was something else that sent him to that location, right? Probably, and then
it was losing probably Yuki and
control
of his physical body.
I am scared to see what's going to happen because when he goes to do his fight with Anderson, right? And we're like, well, shit, right? And originally when he was like, hey, I'm going to fight him, I thought he was just going to go up to the ring right there and fight him. Thankfully, he's not that,
not that gung-ho.
Not that gung-ho, right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
He actually did the prep and things like that.
He studied him, probably.
And the way that he was even practicing against Kamigawa, yes, that was to make sure that he still had it, But
that was also like an outboxing,
it was the instinctual hawk, don't let myself get hit kind of a thing.
Right.
Move in really weird ways. And that's what he would need against Anderson, right? Because if Anderson is methodical, then be unorthodox, right?
Right.
And if he's bigger than you, well, it doesn't matter how much damage he does if he doesn't actually make contact, right? So
don't get hit, get good.
Right, exactly. Get good, scrub. And the fact that then we're like, oh my God, there are all these things that are piling up that's just going to be awful. We've got amidst all of the medical issues on multiple fronts, we've got the love confessions and things like that, and how that's going, and the fact that Kamigawa's then like, no, I can't betray my friend. And it's like, dude, no, stop. But then
that dedication though. So can we talk about the three aspects of kind of I don't know if they're really loyalty, but there's an element of not wanting to burden each other with their issues and stuff. So you've got Nekota who's dealing with his issues, but he's not letting Kamigawa
know about it.
Kamigawa is the one who very much likes Yuki, but
he doesn't let Yuki or Nekota know about it.
No, because he wants Nekota, who he believes is one that in a lot of ways he doesn't have the love for boxing that Kamigawa maybe has. Kamigawa is I will dedicate myself to this thing, so I'm going to steal my mind and my heart so that I won't get in the way of Nekota.
I don't know if I have the priorities set up to where I could actually make that work.
Even though I do like her. And she likes me. And in a lot of ways, I'm sure that she did like Nekota at times, but it's just the issue of he's not doing well. And I don't know if
And he didn't even realize it. Not until Yuki brought it up, and then he's like,
It all connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's punch drunk. Shit, he shouldn't be fighting. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just the idea that these three all still find a way to make a family together and just make it work.
Family. It's a hell of a drug.
It's such a good, simple story.
Yep. So, and now Nakata's gonna fight Anderson. He is fighting Anderson, and the whole thing of him, even right before the fight, where he's like, I can't even tape up my hand right, and he's trying to use his teeth to do it. Like the visual imagery and everything that they did to represent what Nakata was going through throughout the episode, absolutely stellar, so fantastic, right?
Yeah. So good.
But then, apparently, he does it right, and that's
the best twist. The twist that I was thinking of were all really disturbing and like dark and messed up. And the idea that he's like, this will be my last fight and then I'll retire. And all she had to do is like, you said that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you fought him already and he beat you.
Yeah. I'm so thankful
it's not that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that would have been brutal.
But like, the thing is that in order for there to be the most possible pain, right, from defeats,
we have to come up to another high.
You've got to come up to a high, so that then the bigger they are, the harder they fall, right?
Yeah.
And this is about as good as it could get, right?
Because
Nakata defeats it, lays him low off screen.
Well, that's the thing. The fight might not be over.
I don't think the fight's over at all. Yeah. But he laid him low, right? Yeah. He brought him to his knees. And Nakata hadn't even broken a sweat, it looks like.
No. Like, another thing, though, I want to bring up that's very worrisome is regardless of how the fight goes, there's a possibility that this guy, Anderson, could seek revenge.
Sure. Yeah, he's definitely the kind of person to do that.
And he definitely seems like the kind of person who would be like, I'm going to find this guy. Or I'm going to beat him in a back alley.
Well,
or like, you made me look like a fool, so...
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cold and methodical enough to know that, you know what, maybe I don't want to go after you since, you beat me in a fight. If Nakata does, which he might not, but if he does. But you know what? There's that girl that you care so much about.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that.
There are so many ways for this to go horribly wrong.
Yep. I think if anything, what might happen is that the fight continues.
That's what I'm guessing.
Nakata loses.
Yeah. Yep.
Kamogawa then wants to fight him in response, and then it's this thing of where Kamogawa basically loses again. Like, well, not loses again, but then loses as well. And it's this thing of, okay, sure, yeah, I might not be the one that will take on the world myself, but I will find someone who I will then train to be that. And Takamura, he sees maybe that bully that he saw in the American that came by. In the alley. And when he finds Takamura, he's like, I'm not going to let you throw your life away like that.
Yeah. I'm going to turn you into something. Yeah. And because I'll bet that there will be a part of Kamogawa, especially if Nakata loses, that will feel like he failed his friend. Because they were the rivals, right? They were the two strongest ones, right? That everyone put their hopes in, with Nakata being a bit better. And I will bet that Kamogawa will feel a bit responsible that he wasn't able to properly prepare Nakata for this fight.
Or just that he wasn't paying close enough attention.
Sure,
Nakata,
that too.
Shouldn't have been in this fight at all.
Yeah,
But hey, as of right now, we're at a pretty high. And that's pretty
But we
good.
know that the drop's coming.
We know that the drop's coming, but oh my god, that twist... That was
which twist?
So
like
good.
Like the
just this seeing him holding
Anderson.
his heart.
Yeah,
it's like he practically threw a date, heartbreak shot, and it was just like
while doing the hawk like crazy dodging and stuff, and then all of a sudden, bam,
and just That also could be the other thing, is that this guy's just never really taken big hits.
Yeah,
so he doesn't have,
or the hits that he took were like ones that he expected,
or sure, but just the idea that he doesn't really train against people that are a fight. That's why he's going around looking for a fight.
Sure,
is that I'm not trying to paint him in a good light here, but he is probably genuinely interested in a fight against someone that is stronger,
right,
on some level. But he also probably gets off on beating, weak people,
and he probably isn't at his absolute peak because he's,
exactly.
He doesn't think there is anyone who can actually challenge him.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Nekota gets him really good. There wasn't any Nekota's won. It's more of this guy's down, and is he going to get back up?
Yep.
So there's that.
But then on top of that, we have the literal death timer for Yuki. Wonderful.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Ain't this great?
I was really panicky that they were going to do some kind of... This shows how little I know. Just, you shouldn't touch her. She's got radiation poisoning. I was like, it's been 2 years. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and, oh man, yeah. Oh boy.
So...
As far as...
I was just going to say, though, the worst part about this is that she's going to die rather slowly. That's the part that's really...
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
It's not going to be...
There's going to come a point where she won't be able to keep up the act.
Yeah, and it will be really, really painful.
Yep.
Some part of her internal organs will start to just not function smoothly.
And I'm sure that's already happening.
Oh yeah, that's the
hence her coughing up blood, right?
Right, but it's just the question of, is that just a little bit of pain right now or a lot? I would say it's a pretty moderate amount, but it can get way worse.
Much like Nekota with the punches that he's taking, he believes he can take it, and that he can can keep up the act and still remain functioning, and it'll be just fine. But there comes a point, everyone has a limit where you reach it, and you don't necessarily get a happy ending. And we know in Yuki's case that she definitely won't. In Nekota, we also kind of know that he won't.
Yeah. I love, though, the offer of him being like, there's good air up there.
It'll be good.
You might be able to recover. And he's just like, oh, no.
You know. And we don't need to know how he knew.
Oh, well, he was outside. And
oh, that's right. Yeah, we did know that he was outside. Yeah.
So it wasn't something where
she started sobbing afterwards very loudly. Like he at the very least would have heard that probably, unless he'd gone somewhere else. Yeah.
If anything, I think what he's probably really impressed by, and that's something that I wonder with regards to his memory, his short-term memory loss, like what involved this is that he knows that at the very least, Kamogawa isn't making any moves on her.
That's true.
And thus, he doesn't feel like he has to compete at all with Kamogawa for her affection.
Oh boy.
But then she's like, hey, I mean, do I have to spell it out for you? Like, do you...
Yeah.
Like, in a lot of ways, because of what Nekota's going through, and because Kamogawa was the one that stayed there...
Sure.
I think that's the primary difference as to why she showed interest in Kamogawa. Like Nekota... I don't think he was too much of a pervy guy or anything like that. I think he's an earnest, good boy that she's like, I really appreciate you, but no, as far as who I'm actually potentially in love with, it's the strong guy who was there for me and held me when we talked about my past, and he made me the promise that this was going to be exactly the same. Nothing was going to change.
You don't
but Nekota could have totally been that same person to say something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he absolutely would. Like, in a lot of ways, that's what he did the entire time. She just didn't realize it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, okay, I heard that. Well, what? Nope.
Yep. He just did it in a way that was invisible.
Right.
She had no idea.
That, so...
Yeah, that's...
a lot of the times I feel like we as people want to be... we want to know that we're special to people, right? Like
to others.
To others, right?
Yeah.
And that we really mean
a lot to them,
right?
Yeah.
And this is, what Kamogawa did and what Nekota did was what came from that, right? Because Yuki is an incredibly important person to them.
Absolutely.
But there is something really, really incredible in those moments where you need someone to just treat you like anybody else, or like treat you normal.
Yep.
And they do.
Yep. That's huge sometimes.
It is that's incredible.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not surprised for 1 second that Yuki fell for Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Because
same.
Regardless, even,
I did think, though, that she liked Nekota.
I thought she liked Nekota, too. Mm-hmm. But regardless, if someone does something like that for you, your view of them will change. Like that it does.
Especially
it does
if
not.
You can tell that it's genuine.
Especially if you can tell that it's genuine, right? Yeah. It's that things don't stay the same after that. Like in a weird way, in kind of like an ironic way. Mm-hmm. That changes everything.
Yeah.
But.
Oh man! But this episode took my heart and just squeezed and twisted and
if this is the whole rest of Hajime no Ippo
as a show,
oh
my god, this is gonna be my favorite section of the story.
God.
Yeah, Can I just ask that at least 1 or 2 more episodes of this just happen? Because I will be so satisfied.
I hope so. If anything, it makes it kind of funny because then it's all right, this is where it ends. And this will probably be something where it's like, no. Then we want to see more of the aftermath and everything, mm-hmm. right? Get all that additional context for the characters and everything. It's like, nope, show's over.
Go read the manga.
Go read the manga.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, I really love this episode, but I'm spent, so I have nothing more to discuss. So y'all,
until the next one.
Yeah, hope to see you there. But thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.